So hey, we watched Luke Cage finally! Hooray!
I watched it first, you watched it later than me, so it's probably fresher in your mind.
Sure.
So what were your thoughts on it? Oh, we should say...
Full spoilers.
Full spoilers.
Spoilers.
We will be talking about everything.
The only thing with more spoilers is like a whole factory full of cars.
Well,
That's a part of a car!
That was well done! High five!
I knew that, and I know the horn. I think there's a wheel or two.
There are a couple wheels.
Maybe some cogs? What's inside a car? They have, like, sprockets and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Space
sprockets, yeah.
Some Cogswell cogs. Man, the Jetsons. Why don't they ever give that a gritty reboot? Anyway, so Luke Cage, it's the latest Netflix series. It is... Wow, we have a dog now.
We have several dogs in here. Okay, it's the latest Netflix series. I don't know any of the actors' names. I was going to say
there's Luke Cage.
Yeah, there's Luke Cage. There's...
Rosario Dawson, I got one.
Yeah! Rosario Dawson has her biggest role as any of them.
Let's start there, because she's been popping around since, she was in Daredevil Season 1, right?
Yeah, she was.
She was in that.
She's been in all of them.
Yeah, she had, like, a minor role in, Jessica Jones. She showed up a little bit in, like, the second half of Daredevil Season 2.
Yeah.
But... You know, she was in the majority... Like, I forget when she came into Luke Cage. It was...
A little less than halfway through. Maybe, like, 5 episodes in.
Yeah, but, like, once she showed up, she was kind of by his side till the end, you know? She was a very good... Almost like his Robin, kinda.
Yeah.
When he didn't want to be in a TV show anymore, she's like, no, you gotta.
Your name is the show. So let's just talk about the series in general. Let's give an overview of it, basically.
Okay. You know, I mean, Luke Cage is a guy with a past that he's running from, and he just wants to just fade into the background and live a quiet life until... It's actually kind of cool the way they tied in, because Wilson Fisk getting taken off the street created a power vacuum, and the up-and-coming mob guy that wants to fill that kind of starts a chain of events that leads to someone really important to Luke getting killed.
Yes. Also, he's bulletproof and has super strength.
Yeah,
I'm surprised you didn't mention that.
You know what? Details.
We should also mention it's almost an entirely African-American cast, and it takes place in Harlem.
Yeah.
Like, that's a pretty big deal. Like, nowadays in television, you don't really see that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So...
I feel like there's a lot of things a Netflix show will do because it doesn't have to worry about a lot of the same things that like a televised show would.
Yeah.
Like that's usually we see that manifest in terms of, you know, how much they can get away with in terms of like violence and sex. But the fact that this is just Netflix doing their own thing in their own space means they probably don't have to think as much about, you know, demographics and this and that and making and like because like half the time you see predominantly white casts in movies and stuff because they're like, well, will white people really buy tickets to see a cast that doesn't look like them and that kind of thing. Whereas this, they just kind of made the show they wanted to make. Mm-hmm. They're like, you know what, people like our shit, they'll watch this.
Yeah. And Luke Cage was invented in the 70s as Power Man, as kind of like a symbol of black power.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that it would be an all African-American cast.
Yeah. And it was black power through the lens of, like, this was still made and all done by a bunch of, like, middle-aged white people.
Yeah, it was blaxploitation, like that kind of,
like, everything,
over the top.
Everything was a jive turkey.
Yeah.
He wore, like, a silver tiara. It was really... It's a costume I'm amazed showed up in the show.
They got it into the show, yeah.
And they gave it like they did the thing where like, you know, we got the eventual flashback showing how he got his powers and the silver bracelets and the tiara he wore are actually part of like the medical device he was hooked up to. Mm-hmm. And we got that shot of him in them and I thought, oh okay, that was a nice little Easter egg. Except he got out and still had them on, and he put on some clothes he found on the line, and then he's just standing there wearing the classic Luke Cage costume for a minute, and then he sees, he's like, I look so stupid, and then he throws it in the garbage.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of them episode by episode, kind of.
Alright.
Because I feel like the series is kind of divided into two halves, basically.
I agree to a point.
Yeah. A lot of the Netflix shows have been doing that recently, the Marvel Netflix shows.
Yeah.
So, basically... As we said, Luke Cage is kind of running from his past. He's We saw him in the Jessica Jones series. He was introduced there. He had a pretty big role there. Kind of what Rosario Dawson's role in this is.
Kind of, yeah.
That was what Luke Cage was in that.
Yeah, he was like the one overwhelmingly positive force helping her on her journey.
Yeah.
And just like now, like Rosario Dawson, what's her? I know in the comics she's Night Nurse, but what's her name?
I don't know.
Claire something.
Claire Templeton?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe I'm not sure about the last name, but definitely Claire.
Yeah, it's Temple something. It might be Claire Temple. I think it's Templeton though.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, we learn Jessica Jones was possessed by the Purple Man in her show. We learn all this and murdered. Luke's
wife.
His wife.
You're really having a hard time with this.
I am having a difficult time, yeah. I don't feel like talking today. So, murdered,
I'm glad we have so much to record after this.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Murdered his wife, so he's kind of on his own now, doing his own thing. He's staying at this barbershop, Pops.
Yep.
And he's kind of living on his own. I have
he's
so many dogs on me.
He's working 2 jobs. Like, he sweeps up hair at Pop's barbershop, and he works in, like, the kitchen. He washes dishes at this up-and-coming, like, club called Harlem's Paradise, I think?
Yeah. That's owned by this big mobster, Cottonmouth.
Yeah. But don't call him Cottonmouth.
Don't call him Cottonmouth.
He'll kill you.
Like that.
He will kill you dead.
Yeah. And that's where he meets...
Misty Knight.
Misty Knight.
How can you not? Come on.
I don't know. She wasn't a very good character.
I liked her.
Okay, that makes one of us. So he meets Misty Knight, he has to fill in for somebody who dropped out at the bar. So he meets this very, very attractive woman. Turns out she's an undercop. She's an undercop.
She stands below police officers. Yeah.
She's an undercover cop working a case on Cottonmouth. They go home together.
Yeah.
And spend the night together. And then...
Well, you see, he picks her up in the best way possible, which is he just keeps calling her old.
Yes! He's got to work on his game.
I don't know, man. It worked.
It worked. Also, he looks like Luke Cage.
Yeah, I guess.
So, he could pretty much say anything to her. Anyway, we spend a little bit of time with Misty Knight and at the police station, and we learn about her partner. He's kind of like, I'm getting too old for this shit kind of guy.
He's the one white guy that shows up a lot.
One white guy in town. There are actually 2 white guys in town, both villains.
Yeah.
It's like the reverse of every other show on TV.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because they play with, especially towards like the end of the series, they play up that whole tension between the police and the African American community, and most of the cops, not all, but a lot of them that we see mobilized are white, and it's like they never like push the issue really.
Oh, yeah, they never flat out say it.
Yeah, they never say it. They never push it very far, but it's still like white cops harassing innocent black people on the streets because they need to find somebody.
And there's a lot of scenes where it's because Luke Cage is African American, but he has powers. They're looking for him because he has these powers.
Yeah.
It's always the police, the normal people, against the people with powers.
And always
And
also because they specifically have like a I forget what it's called. Is it a dash cam or whatever the cops have in their cars?
Yes.
They have dash cam footage of Luke throwing a police officer at that car's windshield. So they're like, this guy's out of control. He's attacking cops. We got to find him. So they have their story, like non-racist motivation for it, and that's kind of like their lens to talk about the subject that is very racially charged. Yeah. Without making the story about it overtly.
Yeah. It's done very well.
Yeah, I mean,
that stuff is done well.
I could see somebody making the argument that they danced around it, but, I think it worked for what they were doing.
See, I disagree, because I feel like if they just flat out said it, it would have been cheesy. Yeah. Because, they are saying it, they are talking about it. Yeah. But because there are scenes where they just flat out talk about racism and racial issues.
I feel like
the N-word is said in this show more than any other word. I mean,
it's punctuation.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're going to go that way with it, then you have to approach Luke himself differently, because this is, he's basically Steve Rogers.
I was going to say, he's Black Captain America.
He is, Luke is the most, morally and ethically squeaky clean person I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And that's exemplified with this speech he gives I guess more a monologue than a speech, but when he does sit down with the police in the station at the end of the season and talk about, like, why he does what he does and why he doesn't just go with the system and all that stuff, it's very, like, my God, there's nothing bad about you.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like he would have to be a much more morally gray character if they really wanted to talk about racism and corruption and all that kind of thing.
Yeah. So, Cottonmouth is trying to take over the town.
Yep.
Luke Cage is trying to stop him, basically.
Because of, Pops getting killed.
Well, I was getting to that.
Okay.
Because eventually somebody working... one of the two white people in town moves in to try and help Cottonmouth out, who works for...
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, what other white guy?
Yeah, Shades.
Yeah.
White guy always wears sunglasses named Shades.
That's the guy that I think looks like a more evil Adam Sandler.
Yes. I didn't see it at first because he was actually in Sons of Anarchy.
People keep telling me that, and I've never seen that show.
It's really good for like 4 seasons, and then it just kind of becomes the same show over and over again.
Is Ron Perlman in that show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was in the show for way too long.
Oh.
Like, after a while, he was the villain of the show for a while. Spoilers for Sons of Anarchy.
Oh no, now I'm ruined.
And it was like, man, his name's Clay. It was like, man, we gotta kill Clay, but he's our connection to the police, so we can't really do that. Next season, man, I really want to kill Clay, but he's our gun connection right now, so we can't kill him. Next season, oh man, I gotta kill Clay. Like, just shut up and kill Clay. Figure it out.
It sounds like what I keep hearing people say about Dexter. It's like, man, they should have stopped that season, whatever, but they kept going.
Yeah, no, you're right. Like, the thing is about Dexter, it was like, one season was fantastic. The next season after that was pretty good. Not nearly as good as that one season, which was phenomenal. The final season was just like the worst pile of garbage you have ever seen in your life. Yeah. So it was like, they could have stopped here too, and that would have been okay, but they just kept going until it was just horrible. It was like, should we stop? No, I don't know. Just keep writing.
So Luke is spurred on that.
Oh yeah, we're talking about
Luke is spurred to action because of basically Pops, like pre and post murder, because Pops knows that Luke is special. He's seen him lift a washing machine over his head or whatever, and he keeps telling him, like, always look forward, you can make a difference. This is post-Avengers, so he's like, why aren't you out there doing that shit? Like, come on. You sweep hair later.
The guy Shades works for is named Copperhead, right?
Diamondback.
Diamondback. I knew it was a snake. And we keep hearing about Diamondback, and like, if you need help, Diamondback's here, he'll give you the money that he needs, and Cottonmouth is like, no, I don't need a loan, I don't need Diamondback coming in. So we know the big bad is Diamondback. You know, Cottonmouth is bad. But I kinda like Cottonmouth.
Cottonmouth is good. Cottonmouth is a very, very good villain.
Yes, he's a businessman. That's the thing. If you pay your protection money on time, if you don't sell drugs in his territory, like, you got no problem with Cottonmouth. But if you step out of line, he's gonna step up.
Yeah, like, he is a businessman who will snap at any time. Because, like, the very first episode, he beat someone to death with his bare hands.
Yeah.
And, like, that's something, like, the first episode of this series had me worried a little bit, because it had both a very gratuitous murder and a very gratuitous sex scene.
Yes.
And I already went in with the knowledge that, with some of your Daredevil stuff going on, some of the stuff in Jessica Jones to a lesser extent probably than Daredevil, these Marvel Netflix shows tend to push that envelope because they can.
Yeah. Not
necessarily because they should. And Luke Cage leading with that in his first episode really made me worry. But it ended up being the kind of, let's push the envelope in episode 1 to really get some eyeballs on us, so they'll keep coming back to see if we do it again, kind of thing. Like, I've heard Game of Thrones did that too. Like,
they have some gratuitous episodes, but they space them out enough that it's done pretty well.
And, like, you lead with it so that you get more attention than if you didn't.
Yeah. I've heard Game of Thrones described as titties with a side of dragons, and I think that's a really good way to describe it.
That should be the name of the next book.
So let's talk about where I started to see the show going downwards. Sure. And that is the episode where Cage is trapped under some rubble, and the entire thing is him climbing out, having flashbacks.
That's what I think of as his Spider-Man moment.
Yes.
Because Spider-Man, classically, and constantly, like a building will fall on him,
Yep.
and he'll have an issue or half an issue or something where he's just underneath. He's being like, "Oh my God, who's gonna Aunt May and my baby's pregnant and all this stuff," and Mary Jane is pregnant with Gwen's baby, and I gotta, geez, remember and responsibility, and then he gets out.
Yeah. And it was late enough in the season where I couldn't believe they were doing it, because I was like, this would have been fine if there had been flashbacks at any other point.
Yeah.
But now, half the episode is flashbacks, and I can't take it seriously. I don't care about his origin story. Yeah. He has super strength and is bulletproof. That's all I need to know.
I knew the origin would come eventually. It was a matter of, is it going to be this season or next season or whatever, but I liked this episode, not so much on its own merit, but for what it meant going forward, because this was kind of this was the incident where Luke had to step out of the shadows.
Yes.
Like, but that's the one that ended with him, like, turning to the TV cameras and identifying himself after being seen doing something impossible.
Yes, but I feel like he could have done that 15 minutes into the episode and then told Rosario Dawson a monologue about him being in prison and what happened, and it would have been a much more powerful scene than this entire episode.
Yeah, probably. I mean, there's a million ways they could have done it. I'm just happy enough with the end result that I don't mind. And as far as, like, you know, you don't get that many feats of power in a Netflix show because it's like they have to deal with their budget and the choreography that they can.
Yeah.
So giving us something like, oh, he was sitting in the first floor of this apartment building and Cottonmouth shot an RPG at it and the building fell on him and he survived both of those and walked home. Like, that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad they did that. So the point where I felt like we hit the downward tilt of this show is when Cottonmouth got replaced.
Yes.
So
that was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Now
Can we talk about the episode where he dies?
Sure.
Okay. Because Cottonmouth has a sister in
she's a politician. She's running for city council, I believe. She's on the platform of you know,
make Harlem great again.
Yeah, give the community a booster shot. It'll be all inclusive while still staying like the important pinnacle of black culture that always has been, always should be.
Yeah.
While like still welcoming everybody.
Yes.
You know.
And we also get a flashback to their childhood and learn that she was sexually abused by the people that she was living with.
Yeah.
And Cottonmouth at one point brings up the fact that maybe she wanted it or something like that. Now, and she snaps.
Yeah, because up to this point, their relationship has been tenuous because they're cousins.
Yeah,
they care about each other, but it's like to build his club, she lent him money that she got from like donors and taxpayers or whatever.
Yeah, it was money she should not have been giving out.
And then, like, Luke Cage going around ruining Cottonmouth's, you know, gun-running business or whatever, disrupted that cash flow and got most of that cash taken away. So now she's like, oh, God, what am I going to do? They're going to notice this is gone. You need to take care of this. I don't want to hear excuses. Just get results. And he's just, like, not having it.
Yeah. And then he says this terrible thing.
Yeah.
And she snaps. She throws him out a window.
She hits him on the head with a wine bottle.
Yeah.
He falls out the window, and then she goes downstairs and beats him to death with a mic stand.
Yes. This was the best scene in the entire show for me.
Yeah.
She was phenomenal. She was a phenomenal actress. I think she was the best actress in the best actor in the whole show. Maybe Rosario Dawson.
I would put Rosario Dawson above her, but she's definitely up there.
Yeah. I just wanted to mention this. This was incredible.
Yes.
And then Shades witnesses the whole thing.
And he helps her cover up. He becomes her number 2,
basically. And then he calls in Diamondback.
Yes.
To come in.
Now, Diamondback is
awful.
He is... We traded in the suave businessman who, you know, he respects those around him. He knows it. Like, he is honestly sad about Pops dying. He killed Pops' killer and then, like, paid for the funeral and all this stuff. He does all this good stuff while still being, like, the loose cannon that could snap and beat you to death at any moment.
Yeah.
And we traded that in for Mr. I'm crazy, I'm going to scream really loud and wave my arms in the air and shoot and blow up things left and right. And then say bye, and then come back and do it again, and leave, and come back and do it again.
Yeah.
And
twist, it turns out to be Luke Cage's brother.
Yeah. Now, we got that twist, and we got it, like, it came around episode 11 out of 13.
Yeah.
And once he gets that scene where he's explaining it to that politician guy before he kills him, I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it. You make sense as a character. I kind of like you as a villain now.
Yeah.
But it's way too little, way too late.
Yeah.
And like, for so many episodes, for almost half this season, he was just some crazy guy running around killing stuff for, like, no good reason at all. Mm-hmm. And we just had, like, the super vague, unexplained, I'm the brother of the good guy, ha 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 ha, and that's all he was.
Yeah.
I'm like, we lost Cottonmouth for this?
And then there's the scene where Luke goes back to his hometown. And he's in the church where the pastor,
his dad was the pastor.
Yeah.
And, like, that's where he spent his childhood.
It was Diamondback's father as well. He's his half-brother. And he's just standing, he's moving around the church, and he's seeing, like, a little flashback to when he was a kid, and they were running around, and he's understanding now, he's remembering. But we don't see Rosario Dawson's perspective, where he's just standing there looking.
Yeah.
And for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like, this is dumb. Why does he remember it now? Why does he have to come here to remember this? It doesn't make any sense. It's stupid ghosts again. We just saw Doctor Strange.
We'll save that for later.
We'll
save that for later.
Alright.
But I do like how they handled some of the, like, the creative choices during this flashback, because, like, when the door opened and, like, there was a mirror on it and adult Luke was standing in the mirror.
Yeah.
Like, that was cool.
No, it was a well done flashback. It didn't make sense.
It had some really good ideas of, like, let's take Luke back to his childhood home and see what it's become, and that's when, like, the memories will really hit him, kind of thing. We'll show them in a creative way. It just didn't, like, the execution didn't land as well as it could have.
And then we got the final fight.
Yeah. Now, before we talk about that, so, while the whole, I keep wanting to call him Copperhead now, the whole Diamondback thing is going on, you've got, Cottonmouth's cousin. I don't know this character's name.
Me neither.
Whatever her name is. She killed him. Now she's very gradually growing into the new Cottonmouth, basically.
Yeah.
Where, like, Shades is helping her. She's establishing herself at the club. She's spinning it all into political support for her ideals and whatever. And all the while we're seeing Luke Cage deal with this circus clown that is Diamondback. I'm thinking to myself, how great would it have been to find out that all this time she was Diamondback?
Yes!
Like, because all we know is this guy Shades shows up, and he's like, yeah, my employer Diamondback sent me to help you out and whatever, and he's been, like, kind of subtly manipulating Cottonmouth's activities and whatever, and meanwhile she's off to the side being like, I don't want to know anything, just get it done or whatever. And then, like, he's dead, and we find out that, like, oh, she was actually the one pulling the strings, and, like, the second half of the season could be like, now that my idiot cousin, who made me kill him, is out of the way, I'm gonna show everybody how this shit works.
That would be an amazing twist.
And that's what season 2 will be, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But,
and bigger twist, she's Luke's brother.
Yep. Everybody, Rosario Dawson is Luke's brother.
Yes.
Pops was Luke's brother. And, you know,
his father brother.
And because we hadn't seen this character in a few episodes, when Diamondback showed up...
I had to think about it.
Yeah, when Diamondback showed up, my first instinct, because it's the TViest thing they could have done, I assumed that was Luke's friend from jail.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because I'm like, well, if you're going to... They introduced that character, had him, allegedly die off screen in that flashback.
I thought that too!
Yeah, because, like that... Who better to bring back as a villain who hates Luke later?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, then I immediately had the thought, wow, am I just having a white people racist moment? Because,
No, I thought that too. But it would have made more sense if it was him.
It would have.
It would have been better if it was him. Instead,
it was anything but the long-lost brother angle.
Instead, we got 5 episodes of people just looking at the camera monologuing about how great this Diamondback guy's gonna be. It's like, oh man, just wait. Just you wait. And then he showed up and was like, this kinda sucks. So we get to the final fight. Luke is at Pop's, and Diamondback shows up in full regalia.
Now, I didn't look this up, but is that what Diamondback wears in the comics?
I think so, yeah. I think at the time I looked it up.
That's pretty cool. It's the biggest, dumbest super suit you've ever seen.
It's really dumb.
It's super dumb.
It's really dumb.
I have to give him credit, though, because this dog is still here. This whole, all of the advanced weaponry in this show comes from Justin Hammer, and he is the guy, in Iron Man 2, 3?
Yes, 2.
2, he is the guy who's obsessed with being Tony Stark, but can't pull it off because he kind of sucks.
He's an idiot.
Yeah, and, Hammer has been, he's been taking the alien metal from, the Battle of New York, the big fight at the end of Avengers, and he's been turning that into bullets that can do shit that bullets can't do.
Yeah.
That's how we get, a gun that can kill Luke Cage kind of thing. Which, again, it's a simple storytelling trope of you show him getting shot 1 billion times and not get hurt, so that it means something when you shoot him once and he does.
Yes.
That's fine, okay.
God, we didn't even talk about that stupid scene where they dipped him in acid to get a bullet out.
Yeah, but, that's still not as grotesque as I was afraid they would go.
You almost said hoping!
Yeah.
Good catch there, Freud.
I am Luke Cage's brother. And as soon as he goes to open that big box, and it says Hammer on it, and he opens the box and light starts coming out of it, I'm like, he's gonna be wearing a fucking suit, isn't it? It's gonna be some kind of armored suit, and it's gonna be cool.
I joked it was the briefcase from Pulp Fiction.
Nice. Well, now we know what's inside there.
Yeah, they were working really hard to get the super suit to Diamondback.
Can we talk briefly about how Diamondback framed Luke Cage? He put up
oh my god! This was the dumbest. I can't believe I forgot about this.
It was really, really stupid. So he puts on a hoodie like Luke Cage, and he for a while he just carried around one of the gauntlets and its power source for the the suit involves it's a thing he puts on, gives him super strength and makes him super durable, and the gauntlets you can wear separately as long as you carry around their battery pack or whatever.
Yeah.
So he puts on a hoodie, puts on one of those gloves, punches somebody through the chest, and then walks away yelling, "I'm Luke Cage! Luke Cage! Everybody!
I hate cops and I'm Luke Cage!"
And then all the cops are like, "Man, I guess Luke Cage did this."
And everyone's like, it was definitely a black guy. It must be Luke Cage.
No, and Misty Knight points out, she's like, why would he do this and then announce his name over and over again? And the cops are like, no. We gotta get this Luke Cage guy.
The reason I didn't like Misty Knight was at a certain point, the chief was saying okay, I believe you. It's not Luke Cage. I get that. But we have to be police officers. Please just bring him in for questioning. And she was like, no! I will not!
More than that, she said, look, okay, even if you're completely right about Luke Cage, most of the stuff he's been doing is still illegal.
Yes!
It's it's not even it's not even a witch hunt. He just does tons of illegal things.
Yeah. I'm just like, no, he's a good person, because I had sex with him and I don't want to feel bad. And I feel kind of gross and I haven't slept in a while.
I feel like Misty is kind of their overcompensation for Luke's perfection. Because she's like, she comes off...
Because she's the opposite of that?
No, because she comes off, like, she has the air of the seasoned detective who has it all together and knows everything, but, like, she's street smart, she knows the job, she knows the community, she knows exactly who to go to and what to trust and whatever. But at the same time, she's always, like, an inch away from breaking.
Yeah.
And, like, she does break a couple times. Mm-hmm. And, like, the things that she does and the reasons she feels she has to lie to certain people about certain things. I don't know, I found her interesting.
She was an interesting character.
I mean, she's very, like, if Claire is an A, she's, like, a B- to a C+, you know?
I'd put her down with a C.
No.
Okay. Like, just because I didn't like the character doesn't mean it's not a good character.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And I did like the little, I guess, Easter egg, you could call it, where, you know, towards the end, she gets shot really badly through the arm.
Why is that an Easter egg?
Well, not that, but, not that fact in itself.
Okay.
But, like, Claire makes a mention of, like, you know, if we got to this, like, a second sooner, you would have had to go the rest of your life without this arm. And in the comics, Misty Knight has, like, a bionic right arm.
Oh, okay,
She's got, like, a Full Metal Alchemist arm.
Nice. I like at the end when, Rosario Dawson's character is saying, like, I really need a place where I can do work like this on my own, in my own space. And they're in Pops' barbershop. He's like, what are we going to do with this place? It can't be a barbershop anymore. And Rosario Dawson's just kind of looking around. And, like, that's all they mention.
I keep expecting that to be, like, Defender's headquarters. Or,
I'm expecting it to be Night Nurse's office.
Or, like, either that, or, like, again, they kept referencing Heroes for Hire all throughout this thing, which, in the comics, that was Luke Cage's, like, be a superhero for money business.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, he's an established hero of the downtrodden in this thing. He basically lives in this barber shop, which is a location that everybody knows about anyway. Make this the Heroes for Hire office. Because they keep trying to make it a barbershop again, and it keeps getting blown up.
So, anything to say about the last fight? It was kind of just two guys punching each other for a while.
Yeah, I mean, it makes me wonder, is martial arts easier to fake than just, like, a brawl is? Like, is it that... Because, like, you look at...
Because there was no choreography.
No, it was just, like, I'm gonna slug you, and then you slug me, and I slug you. Because when I think about, like, some of the ninja fights in Daredevil, I still think about that as, like, not being the best choreography, but that's still kind of impressive. And I wonder if it's that disconnect of, like, you know, as long as they show me something that looks halfway fancy that I know I could never do, do I give it more leeway? Because, like, anybody, even, doesn't matter if you know how to fight or not, you know what, like, a punch looks like, and, like, you know, like, the very basic, like, the basics are the easiest to undersell and not do well.
Yeah. I don't know, I always think about the scene at the end of Star Wars Episode 6, I think, with Luke just going at Vader with the lightsaber.
Yeah.
And there's no choreography to it, it's just...
He's really mad.
Pissed, and he wants to kill him. And he just wants to kill him really, really bad. And he's just hitting him with the saber. And there's passion there. And it's not choreographed at all, it's just, he really wants to kill him. And there was no choreography here, and there was nothing of that either.
Yeah.
It was just two bored guys hitting each other. This reminded me of that issue I always bring up of Superman.
Yeah. Where
Lex Luthor was out of his suit and Superman was out of his powers, and they were just laying on a beach hitting each other until they both fell asleep.
Yeah, that was a pretty great issue. I might reread that tonight.
It was a good issue and that point was...
I mean, much like what we talked about before, this was a case of, like, they had a halfway good idea, which was, like, they paralleled this fight with, like them learning to box as kids.
Yes.
And Luke is, like, now applying the lessons he learned back then, and the whole, like, and it's, like, again, the basic stuff of, like, let him wear, You just stand there and take it, and he'll wear himself out, and then you take him out, or whatever.
It would have been better if either of them were boxing, though.
Yeah, and also would have been better if boxing had come up more often in the show.
Or the fact that he had a brother.
Details.
Alright, so overall, where would you place Luke Cage out of all the Marvel series?
I mean...
Better or worse than Daredevil Season 2?
Better than Daredevil Season 2. Although I will say I'm currently rewatching Daredevil Season 2, and it is better the second time around, but it's still worse than this.
Okay.
I feel like we need like one or two more of these to make me feel good about any list, you know?
Yeah.
Because, like...
Well, this is the fourth one.
Yeah, I know, but, like... The only one I'm super sure of the placement of is Daredevil Season 2 as being at the bottom.
Yeah.
Because, like Daredevil Season 1 I have a hard time talking about because I can't think of very many things to say about it other than, yeah, that was good, I liked it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I've seen it 3 times. So it's like, it's really good.
Yeah.
I really like Jessica Jones, which I've only seen once, but I'm inclined to put it above, but maybe that wouldn't hold up as well as I remember if I watched it a second time.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel the same way about Daredevil when I do, like, Iron Man 1, where I was like, Iron Man 1's, like, the best Marvel movie ever, but then again, it was also the first.
Yeah, and I last saw that, like, I used to rewatch that just at the drop of a hat, but it's been, like, 7 or 8 Marvel movies since I've seen it, so would it still hold up?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Want me to do my order?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's Jessica Jones, number 1.
Yeah, me too.
Daredevil Season 1.
Hmm.
Now, these are the tough ones.
Oh, God. Come on.
I really didn't like Luke Cage.
Do you remember the second half? Which had a worse second half? Daredevil Season 2 or Luke Cage?
Okay, it's Luke Cage and then Daredevil Season 2. The thing is... there was a higher drop-off in Daredevil Season 2.
Yeah.
Because I loved Cottonmouth so much.
Yeah.
He was great. But I also loved Punisher!
No, I know, but still, like, the best... I mean, you could make an argument about that jail scene, but still, the best Punisher stuff is in the first half of that season. Like, the rooftop
That's what I'm
stuff,
saying. That's what I'm saying. So, like, it was, like, all Punisher, and then Elektra's here, and she brought her ninja friends. Like, what the fuck am I watching now?
Like, for me, definitely Jessica Jones, I'll put at the top. Daredevil Season 2, I'd put at the bottom. And... I don't know, time will decide whether I liked Luke Cage Season 1 better or worse than Daredevil Season 1.
I think you're crazy. I think this is way worse than Daredevil.
I don't know, maybe I'm just inclined to give them more credit because they like, tried so many different things than they've done before.
They did a lot of really good things here.
And we got a street-level story that felt like the stakes were as high as they had ever been without it being so overtly bleak.
Yeah. They gotta stop. They gotta do like an 8-episode season or something.
Yeah, because it always feels like...
They tell a really good story. The last episode should have been the episode when she beat Cottonmouth to death.
Yeah.
That would have been great.
And I'm not sure if, maybe they wouldn't structure all of it the same if they were going to split it that way, but, they did this with Daredevil Season 2, where, the first half of the season, if that was the whole season, would have been phenomenal. Mm-hmm. And then, 3 or 4 months later, come out with the next 6 episodes to be the next season. Because all of these Netflix shows are 13 episodes, right?
Yeah.
That might be a mistake.
Yeah. I forget his name, but I watched this with my mom, and we had a favorite character. Oh, man, I can't think of his name, but it was...
Was he Luke Cage's brother?
No.
Okay, are you sure? Everyone is.
He might have been then. That pastor got around. But, it was the scene where, Cottonmouth kills the guy who killed Pops.
Yeah.
And he throws him off the roof.
Yes.
And then the guy who they just invited over to get information, he's just standing on the roof with them. Yeah. And he's like, how did you get up here? And he goes, there ain't a door in the world that can hold Lamar or something.
You know what? That guy was the gun runner that Daredevil kept beating up.
Oh,
yeah,
it is?
Yeah. There were a bunch of carryover characters or crossover guys,
because later Luke busted him for running guns.
Yeah.
Okay, so that makes sense.
And he made some remark about going back to Hell's Kitchen or whatever.
Right.
And later, the assistant district attorney from Daredevil season 2 shows up, like the black guy who's
yes.
like,
yeah, I caught that.
There was like a couple others, I forget.
But like as soon as he said that, me and my mom like burst out into applause. We were like, "He's the best. We love him. Please don't die."
What did your mom think of this season?
She liked it more than I did, but she was also disappointed with the ending.
I will say, I think they set it up perfectly for Defenders to pick up. Because Luke is in jail, they have a lawyer on their team.
He's not in jail, is he?
Yeah, he went back to jail.
I remember he went to the police. Oh, that's right, because there's like... Yeah, okay,
it
I forgot about that.
It ended with him...
That was like... that was the stupidest thing. It's like, alright, you're free to go. Luke, we have a warrant for your arrest. Credits. It's like, what?
I mean... They did have, like, a pretty long car ride where they talked about the car
right,
ride.
Okay.
They're like, man, this is... I mean, you want some donuts or something? This is going to be a long car ride. He's like,
Oh, I forgot about that.
And so, like, I think it's... And, you know, all the facts about his past are in that folder at the barbershop.
Yes.
Where, barbershop man found underneath...
Yeah.
Underneath the thing.
Yeah.
So, I think,
Bobby Darin, something like that?
I maybe.
Yeah.
There's a ton of people in this show.
Yeah.
But...
Dapper Dan.
Yeah.
There.
I think, like, they set it up so perfectly where, you know, obviously Matt Murdock is going to get him out of jail.
Yes.
You know? And, like, okay, you know what? If you're going to have... Like, you have a character who spends half of his time in a courtroom, that's a good way to use that.
Yes. And Iron Fist is next. I can't wait.
Yep.
It's going to be great. Hopefully it's going to be great.
Daredevil,
half of it will definitely be great.
Daredevil really feels like the odd one out here because, like... And they don't necessarily have to bring over all the comic relationships or whatever, but Luke Cage is best friends with Iron Fist, and he gets married to Jessica Jones. And here's our friend Daredevil! He's just the weird guy hanging out in the den.
He marries Jessica Jones?
Yeah, they have a kid.
Wait, that woman who... You know that scene where Squirrel Girl beats up Wolverine?
Yes.
In order to audition to babysit for them?
Yes.
That's Jessica Jones?
Yeah.
Oh my god, is she black in the comics?
No. She's not, nope. She's not black in the show either.
No, I know, but... I remember reading that scene, because I was reading New Avengers at the time. I always thought she was black.
No.
Maybe I'm racist.
Yeah. But it's okay, because you're Luke Cage's brother. No one will call you racist, or else your big bro will go get him.
Alright. I think that's it.
God, I want so badly for them to get together in this show just so they can audition for like babysitters. And just don't even give her a squirrel tail. Just be like, oh, okay, Doreen, we'll give you a call once we're ready.
Yes. No, I was gonna say Dory. Squirrel Girl needs to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Well, I mean, Thanos is coming, and who else can beat him?
That's true. That wasn't canon.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
Oh god.
He beat Dr. Doom. I think Galactus one time.
Alright. That's it.
Anyway, so yeah, Luke Cage is pretty good.
Okay.
When is Iron Fist coming?
6 months from now.
Yeah, they do it every 6 months
Yeah.
or so, don't they?
So...
I hope to God
April, maybe?
this is the last one before Defenders. So I want them to...
I think they've confirmed that.
Yeah, I think, like... Did they already film it? Are they filming it right now?
They're filming it now.
Okay. Because I'm tired of this getting pushed back for like, additional seasons of things.
Yeah, that sucks. But, I mean, they've only done that once.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Alright.
Bye.